Hey guys, Zara here. So today's video is going to be an updated foundation collection. I did one of these, I want to say like 2 years ago, and I've had a few requests to do another one. The reason I think you guys like this type of video is because a lot of you are my skin tone and you want to see what foundations I own and I guess my opinion on them, like if they're a little touch too dark or touch too light or touch too yellow or whatever. Yeah, so I have a lot of kind of higher end foundations because I do struggle to find my shade in drugstores here in Australia, but I do have a few drugstore ones that I picked up overseas, like in Canada, where they do stock darker shades. So in no particular order, I am going to show you guys all of my liquid foundations. Oh, and I know I'm going to get asked, so my lip combo right now is the NARS Velvet Lip Liner in Mercier, did I say that right? Mercier Island Beach, Smashbox Be Legendary lipstick in Jam on it, and I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a lipstick topper or worn by itself, but I put it on top. This is the NARS Velvet Lip Glide in Platos. So the first foundation I have sitting in front of me is the NARS Glow foundation. This one's almost finished, so I repurchased one in London when I was there a couple months ago. I have it in the shade Medium Dark 3 Cadiz. I absolutely adore this foundation. I used to use it a lot, but then obviously I started discovering new ones that I really liked. I would say this was the first foundation I owned that I fell in love with and used constantly. Before this I was kind of chopping and changing heaps. You can find this in Australia at Mecca Cosmetica, Mecca Maxima. It goes a lot darker than this, and yeah, it's medium to full coverage. Adore their shade range, and really don't know what else to say. I love wearing this for special occasions, like for Eid or for weddings or something like that. Like, that's just the perfect foundation for me. Next, I actually got asked a question about this. I don't really know if it's a foundation, on Snapchat just yesterday, I think, so perfect timing for this video. It's the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer. I have it in SX12 and SX13. I am not a fan of this. I do regret purchasing it. So obviously they're very thick. I've seen most people use it just to pinpoint, conceal like spots and blemishes, because it's such full coverage and so pigmented and all that stuff. But their shade range was just so difficult for me to kind of figure out what to get. So like one's really yellow and one's really pink, and if I mix them together I do get a decent shade match, but who's gonna do all of that just to like pinpoint conceal, like when I have concealers that are my shade. And then I did try putting it all over my face and it was just too thick. Like, it's not made to be like an all face foundation, I don't think. Flawless coverage for sure, but it just cracked. It was so dry on my skin, and I have fairly normal skin, so yeah, I'll keep them. I mean, they might come in handy, but I wouldn't suggest those to people with my skin tone. Next are the Make Up For Ever foundations. I have here the original HD, the new Ultra HD, and the Ultra HD Stick. These are all in the same shade, I believe. Yep, 173, which is my shade. I can get away with 170, which is a shade lighter as well. Just depends on the time of the year for me. Adore the HD foundation. Similar to the NARS Glow, I think the shade is perfect for me. It's medium to full coverage. I love wearing it for special occasions because obviously it doesn't give flashback and don't have to worry about it. The Ultra HD Stick I find to be a slightly drier formula, obviously, because it's a stick, and I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that. I don't reach for it all the time as a result because, like I said, I have fairly normal skin, but if I have one concern about it, it's that it can get dry, and yeah, I just don't think this really looks good. I mean, I gave in to the hype when Nikki Tutorials kept wearing it and looked flawless on her, and I've used it in a couple of tutorials, I think. I dropped it and now it's at the other end of the room. But yeah, I wouldn't repurchase that one. Next here I have the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place foundation in 5W2 Rich Caramel. I do really like this foundation. I apply it with a beauty blender so it's not such a full coverage. But right now, this is a very yellow and deep shade, and right now it's just not going to work for me. I tried using it earlier today for this tutorial, but I ended up wiping it off. It was just way too dark and way too yellow for my skin tone right now. This is probably me tan, like most of the most of the time when I get a tan. That's my shade. Most people say it's really full coverage. I think you can get really full coverage if you use a brush. But yeah, I used a beauty blender and it's just shy of full coverage, which I like. Next is the foundation I have on right now. This is the Kat Von D Lock It Tattoo foundation in medium 62. Really like this foundation. It's really good for me when I'm kind of not so tan. Full coverage, very full coverage, and today I applied it using a brush, so I got like the fullest coverage out of it. It is quite thick, so if you feel like you can feel foundation on your face very easily, like right now I've got it on and I feel pretty comfortable, but some people can just feel makeup on their face, whereas I tend to forget that I have makeup on. So yeah, it's very thick, it really sits on the skin. It is 24-hour wear, although I'm not really sure when I would ever wear makeup for 24 hours. It says it's transfer resistant. I don't think so. Matte finish, maybe. I used an illuminating primer today, so I can't quite remember. Fragrance free, oil free. So yeah, really do like that one. Would definitely recommend that foundation to people. I also have here the Estee Lauder Double Wear Light. Really like this one. I've been wearing this one to work every day lately. I have in the shade Intensity 4.5. And yeah, just an easier to wear version of the double wear, and this one's more my shade as well. It is quite yellow, but it looks alright on me. And it's like, yeah, light to medium coverage. It's better for everyday wear. Another Estee Lauder foundation is the Double Wear Nude Cushion Stick Radiant Makeup. You guys might have seen this, Chloe Morello did a video on it, because it is the most awkward looking foundation ever. So you pretty much twist this, it comes out, and then you cushion it on. But the cool part is you can actually twist it back as well, so that sucked up a little bit. But yeah, this shade is just far too light for me. Even when I was at my lightest, it still didn't work for me. I tried taking out some of the product and mixing in a deep foundation, but who can really be bothered to do that all the time? But I think the formula of this foundation is very nice. It's just not my shade. It's a really nice medium coverage, like it's your skin but much better. Next here I have the Laura Mercier Candleglow Soft Luminous Foundation. I bought this whilst in Canada and I did not have a tan then. Really like it, wore it a few days to work, looks quite nice, looks quite natural, gives a natural glow to the skin, which I like. Light to medium coverage. I can't remember if it was buildable. Definitely worth exploring, but not one of the holy grails. Like once I finish that one, by then, you know, there'll be other foundations that exist that I'll probably explore instead. MAC Face and Body Foundation in C5. This would be in my old video as well. I have no idea why I still have this. I'm pretty much waiting to like have 5 products go back to MAC. Then I'm going to take this back as my 6th and get like a free lipstick. This is in the shade C5, far too light for me. I did use MAC Face and Body in my makeup course in London and I kind of fell in love with it, but I am the shade C6. And yeah, I have no idea what to do with this, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, I'll just wait till I go back to MAC and take it with me. Next I have the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I originally bought it in the shade 8.5 and then one of you guys told me that shade 9, which you would think is darker, is actually lighter. So I went and picked shade 9 like later on. So this one kind of looks good on me most of the time. And this one's kind of nice to mix in with other foundations. Like it is a very warm shade. So yeah, sometimes I mix the two of these depending on what colour I am. So you guys know this foundation is amazing. Medium coverage, glowy, natural finish. What else can I say about it? It's just really gorgeous. Obviously there are other foundations just as good. But this one definitely is a favourite, is something that I will always reach for. I'm not sure if I would repurchase immediately, like if I could, you know, not live without it. I could definitely live without it. Also it's really expensive, so yeah, I could definitely live without it. But it's a really nice foundation. Alright, next I have the Maybelline Fit Me foundations. I have them both in the shade 330 Toffee. I could get away with 315, which I think is a deeper shade here in Priceline, but every time I go and swatch it I'm like, too light. I could probably make it work, but this one works just a lot better. So there's a Dewy and Smooth and the Matte and Poreless. I know the Matte and Poreless is a favourite for a lot of YouTubers out there. I personally like both of them. I can't really discern which one I like more. Only strife with this is that I wish it came with a pump. I really hate pouring out foundations. It's like my pet peeve. Here I have the NARS All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation, again in the shade Cadiz. Really nice foundation, but I always feel like it makes my skin look so dry by the end of the day, and I have no idea why. I mean, it's supposed to be like luminous, not drying, so I'm not sure. Maybe it's oil free. I'm not sure why it does that. I do really like this foundation. That's my only negative about it. It's got like that light to medium coverage. It kind of covers my imperfections. I don't really need to spot conceal or anything like that. But yeah, just not sure why, and I feel like it makes my skin look really crepey and dry. Here I have the Cover FX Custom Cover Drops. This is in the shade G70. This is like a shade darker than my skin tone. And I bought it to mix in with lighter foundations. I originally tried it with like the CoverGirl foundation, which was far too light for me. It was from Priceline. Mixed like a bunch, like 10 of these drops in with it. Got pretty close to my skin tone. I was like, oh, okay, so you know, I can make Priceline foundations work for me now, but it just wasn't, like, who can be bothered seriously mixing foundations? I know Lauren Curtis loves using this by itself, so I might consider either getting my skin tone in it or just waiting till I get a tan and then using this by itself and seeing how it goes. Next I have the Benefit Hello Flawless Oxygen Wow Foundation. This is a repurchase. I love this foundation. I am in the shade Hazelnut, which I don't think they stock in Australia, which is really weird. I had to buy this in London because I knew that my one was running out. So absolutely love this foundation. Medium to full coverage, looks flawless on my skin. I love it. I love it. This is a very good foundation that I really like. Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder. I've heard amazing things. I purchased it in the darkest shade. Big mistake. It's shade 10 Dark. Definitely like a shade darker than me. If I was really tan, I could probably get away with it. I did wear it in London when I was tanned last year, like after traveling Europe. It's really oily. I don't know about this one. I barely reach for it because obviously it's the wrong shade, and it's just too expensive to go and get shade 9, which from memory was too light for me, so I'd have to mix the two anyway. You get a decent amount of product. You get 40 ml in this. Most foundations you only ever get 30 ml. Yeah, it was oily. That's what really threw me off. I was like you squeeze, like you have to shake it, then you squeeze it, and like you could see the oil just on the ring of the foundation. It was very weird. So really not sure about that one, but I know a lot of people really like it. I just don't get it. Next is the NARS Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturiser, a repurchase, adore it, used to wear it every day to work. I have it in the shade Cuba medium 3, would recommend this to everyone. You get 50 ml of product. I'm not sure if it's because it's a tinted moisturiser, but I still use the same amount as I do a foundation. Yeah, really like this one. Light to medium everyday coverage, my skin but better, you know, just looks really nice on me. Another Charlotte Tilbury. This is a Magic Foundation. I got this one in shade 9 Dark. Very yellow. Her shades were very hard to work with. I got this in Canada and I think even the girl was struggling. I was like, you know what, let's just go this one and I'll have another foundation to mix in with it. But like I've said a few times, as much as I think to myself, I'll mix that with another foundation, I never do. But this is really nice. Like it would probably match me right now. It's just very yellow, so I'd have to kind of, I don't know, work a concealer to make it look kind of even at the end. I've only used this once, I think, so I don't have too many opinions on it yet. But maybe I will try it out a bit more, maybe do like a review or a first impression, since I don't really remember. But we'll see. Yeah, I don't really have an opinion on that foundation. Next here I have the Hourglass, what's it called? The Vanish Stick Foundation. I just bought this. I've only used it once. I have it in the shade Honey, which looks like that. Pretty decent shade match for me. Not sure about this foundation yet. I said I wore it once. I think I wore it in a video and then I wore it out that night. And what I wasn't sure about was, so I always get creasing on my upper lip just because like of the way my lips kind of curl and stuff. I just get creasing here. And I usually just do this and you know it helps kind of just blend out the product again. But I did that and the product lifted straight off. So I did this and the foundation was on my finger and not on my face anymore, and I just had like this patch on my face of no foundation. And I knew there was nothing I could do about it because if I kept touching I was just going to remove the rest of my foundation. So that was the only thing that's weirded me out about this so far. So still yet to trial and figure out how to use it. But I did like the finish and everything. That was the only thing, like the wearability of it and the durability. Too Faced Born This Way foundation in caramel. This is my holy grail. This is my favourite foundation. This is my new bottle because the other one's finished. And I only bought it like 6 months ago. I'd have to check with my colleague. I remember we went during a lunch break and I bought it on impulse. And I don't know what I would do without it. I freaking love this foundation. I think if I ever stopped doing YouTube or stopped being into makeup and just like needed makeup for one face and all that kind of stuff, like this is the foundation I would get. I hope Too Faced always make it because I love it that much. Alright, now we're on to the next box. I have 2 boxes of foundation. It's pretty much how I store it. Here I have the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Fluid Foundation in the shade SF 8.5. Really nice match. This is one of those water dropper ones when they were all like the rave. Really barely reached for this, not a huge fan. It's a light coverage but it just brings out all my imperfections, which I don't like. Like it dries around say a pimple bump and it dries around like a clogged pore and it makes them very obvious. So that's why I don't like about it. Smashbox Liquid Halo Foundation in shade 8. No idea if they still make this. But I do like this. It's actually almost finished. I think there's only like a third left in there or something. Should probably finish that up. Probably won't repurchase even if they do still make it though. Just wasn't, I guess, such a huge fan of it. But it was a nice foundation. I wore it during my sister's wedding and I look really nice in all the photos, so I can't be mad. Burberry Velvet Foundation in trench number 208. Barely reach for this. It's too light for me. Should probably mix the custom cover drops in with it and finish it off, but yeah, why do that when you can just reach for a foundation that's already your shade? Don't know about the Burberry foundations. I mean, gorgeous packaging, but probably wouldn't repurchase. I don't even think they stock my shade anymore, since they moved from David Jones to Sephora. Chanel Perfection Lumiere Velvet. Really like this foundation. I have it in the shade 70 Beige. I also have it in the shade 60 Beige, which was a mistake. 70 Beige is me. I really like this foundation. Don't reach for it enough, need to reach for it more. Medium coverage, pretty nice. What else can I say? Just sits really nice on the skin, really. Yeah, it doesn't do anything too discernible. Probably wouldn't repurchase, but it's a very nice one if you're looking into getting it. L'Oreal True Match in W8. This is the Canadian one because apparently there's 2 different formulas out there depending on where you live. Really nice foundation. Should reach for it more. I have not worn this in a very long time. Medium to full coverage, covers imperfections. Very similar to NARS Glow, I would say, actually, from memory. Very similar. Should definitely reach for it more. MAC Pro Longwear in NC45 is too yellow and too dark for me. I got it in London. I don't know what I was thinking. At the time it matched me perfectly, but I should have known that I would never be that tan ever again. And yeah, I keep it. I don't know why. I always think that I'll find someone that'll use it. Smashbox Studio Skin 15 Hour Wear in 3.3. Really like this foundation for me during the summer when I'm tan because it's very yellow. Adore it. I've seen Chloe again use this one a lot recently or a couple months ago. It's just a really flawless finish. I just love the finish of it. And I've never worn it for 15 hours, but it just sits really nicely on my skin, doesn't dry it out or anything like that, which is pretty much the main reason I like it. Illamasqua Skin Base in SB14. Really nice. I've been applying this wrong for so long, and then I used a Real Techniques buffing brush, I believe. No, Expert Face Brush. Looks amazing. I actually really like this foundation now when I'm like going out for dinners or drinks with the girls and clubbing. Like, I really like it. And that one has like medium to full coverage. Laura Mercier Smooth Finish Flawless Fluid in Praline. Yes. I wanted to get the Silk Cream foundation, but the shades didn't work for me. I would have had to have gotten like a light and dark and like mix them. So I ended up getting this one. Barely reached for it. Wouldn't repurchase. Don't know why I got it. From memory, similar to the NARS All Day Weightless Luminous. Like, it just makes my skin look a bit dry and crepey and liney and the fine lines and everything just makes it look really obvious. Marc Jacobs Genius Gel Supercharged Foundation in 66 Fawn Deep. Really like this one, need to wear it more. Definitely need to wear it more. You guys know I adore the concealer. I've actually just almost finished my second pot. I'm so sad. I need to go repurchase a third pot. I'm heading to the city today actually, so I'm going to go get a third pot today and just be ready because I love that foundation. That concealer, sorry. Foundation, definitely need to reach for it more. It's been a while since I've worn that one, so I can't have an opinion, but I remember liking it. Alright, only a few more left. I'm getting hungry. It's like way past lunchtime. Urban Decay All Nighter Waterproof Longwear Liquid Foundation in the shade 7.75. Really like this one so far. Keep in mind that it oxidizes to about 2 shades darker, so purchase a lighter shade. I've worn it 2 or 3 times. Really like it. Apply it with a foundation like paddle brush, like paint it on your face. Full list coverage, really nice finish. I really like it. Really like it. NARS Velvet Matte Skin Tint in Malaga Medium Dark 1. Do really like this one, but it's very yellow, which was disappointing because I really like NARS's shades usually, but that one, maybe I purchased the wrong shade, not sure, but it's really nice, like, they call it a skin tint, I just call it tinted moisturizer. It's a very nice tinted moisturizer. Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer in Tan. Have not worn this in a bloody long time. I can't even remember what it did for me. Would need to explore that once more. I think I have a first impressions video on that one though, so check that out maybe. That would be like more than a year old now. Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Ultra Definition Liquid Makeup in 7.75. Love this foundation so much. This is a repurchase. I purchased these at different times. I didn't realize I've kind of purchased the same shade. Doesn't look like the same shade in the bottle. Maybe they accounted for it oxidizing, that one oxidizing. But yeah, really love this foundation. Repurchase, love it. It's brilliant. And Christian Dior Air Flash Spray Foundation in 500. My little cousin gave me this. Still getting through it. I feel like there's so much product in here, I swear. Really like it. Really nice finish. Just hate the application. I really wish it came with a pump and not a spray. I don't spray it straight in my face. I either spray it on my hand, but then like, you know, it like sprays off and like hits everything around it. Or onto my like Surface Pro from Beauty Blender. But yeah, again, sprays off, hits everything around it. Like, it's such a messy foundation. But the shade is great. It's really nice medium coverage, like covers imperfections but not quite everything. It just looks really natural and yeah. So those are all my foundations. So I got a little bit rushed at the end. My battery's running low. I am starving and there were a lot of foundations to talk about. And I knew that this box was like my lesser reached for one and I wouldn't have too many opinions. Like, that box is like the one I reach for all the time. And I feel like I've descended slowly again whilst talking to you guys. But I hope you enjoy the video. If you have questions about any of these foundations, feel free to ask me in the comments below and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!